Hello, everybody. It's Joanna and Tara Zim here, and I'm just going to wait a little bit while people get on here. It is Tuesday evening, and I forget how many days I have left of this challenge. I think it's like day 340 something or other. I don't even know. But I felt compelled to get on live today because it's December 6th today. As some of you know, I have been addressing different fears every day this year without missing, I think, a single day. I know I missed some days when my daughter was in the hospital, and that was a pretty overwhelming and intense time, which I made through thanks to all your support. I just want to give you a little background on how this challenge started. I'd been through a lot in 2015 and really saw how fear was an underlying player in how my life was going, how my situations were going. And it was without actually a lot of thought that I decided that in 2016, this fear game was going to be over, like freaking over. And I'm glad I didn't think too much about it, because if I did, and knew what I was actually going to get into, there's no way I would have done this challenge. So I just decided that I was going to, instead of letting my fears come to get me, I was actually going to go and hunt them down. And this is something that I hold dear to my heart in terms of just dealing with shadow material and dealing with things that are difficult. Just go after it. I do not like being the hunted. I'd rather be the hunter. So I started making a list, and every time I either experienced one of the fears that I experienced as a human or heard about one, I'd write it down in this list in Evernote. It's just like this giant list of human fears, from existential fears to fears in relationship to fears of being vulnerable, to all the kind of shame fears that come up when you raise your children. And given that we've been in an age of what we call terrorism since September 11th, we have a lot of fear in our culture, which I look around and see we don't deal with very well. There are so many other syndromes that come from fear, like anger and hatred. And I strongly believe that as humans, need to address our fears with care and support with each other, instead of the hatred and the violence and the things that go on. So, wondering who's here. Just taking a look around here. If you're here, let me know. Say hello. Wondering who is here. So what is happening is that here we are, December 6th, and I have some fears that are ready for the rest of this month, which is going to be the end month. And I've saved the best for last. Most of them are sexuality fears. Fears around sexuality, intimacy, deep sexual connection and passion. So what I am wondering about is, what do you see that people are dealing with on a fear level? I really want to hear from you so that I can finish this year out with really addressing what's important to you. And there's no fears that are too weird. Yeah, I had a person tell me about her fears of extraterrestrial creatures. And so last week I actually did a video on that called "What If We're Not the Only Ones?" So I am wondering, and if you don't feel comfortable sharing this with me in the comments, yeah, I'd love to hear from you via private messenger, because I know that you all, in your own way, have your own respective fears in terms of what you're dealing with in your own life, whether it's with parents or children or work or body, sexuality. I'd welcome actually knowing what it is that you're struggling with. So I'm just going to wait a minute or so here, maybe see who else gets on this call or on this live, Facebook Live. Who is out there? Curious. I see a few people. Don't know who you are, but hi and happy Tuesday. I'm curious if you've been seeing the Fear into Love posts this year. And it's bizarre, I never know who's watching these or listening to them. And last week I got a message from a woman who said, I have been actually listening to and watching your posts all year long. I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate them. What's happening for me is somewhere around September, which was around the 9th month that I had been doing all these fears. It was also the month that I started doing more video instead of trying to do everything via writing, which was what me facing definitely one of my own fears. And right around that time, something really crystallized for me all throughout my life. It was like I'd gone after so much fear that I just did not feel like it was bothering me anymore. It was like I had so much of my energy and my orientation geared towards addressing all of the fears that I had. And I had thought I was a person who actually was addressing my fears. I did not have a self concept of myself as being a person who ran from fear. But once I actually opened up the subject matter and saw how much of my fears that I hadn't gone into in more depth, it became really strikingly apparent to me that there was plenty of work for me to do. And after this whole year, which is, coming to a close now, I just don't feel the same way. I literally feel like my nervous system has been rewired from the ground up. I feel a peace and a calm and a certain kind of stability deep inside my sensate body. This is some of the work that I do with trauma, which has definitely reshaped how I feel my feelings and how my thoughts then arrive on top of that. And that has also affected my interactions with other people. So the benefit of exploring something like this for a whole year has just been like a huge gift to give myself. Am I running to do another version of this next year? No. It's a lot to do this every single day. But I could surprise myself and surprise all of you. I'm definitely thinking about what my theme for the next year will be, as I imagine that some of those awarenesses are coming from you. So, as I was saying a moment ago, right around September, things coalesced, and I just don't feel fear in the same way. My entire orientation is around the awareness and noticing the fear, and then having it just be completely just oriented to and related to differently, with love, with presence, with awareness, with a lot of inner creativity and resources. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on. And there's some sweethearts coming up, thank you, who are sending those. So I'm just really inviting and curious, like, what do you want me to address in this challenge before December 31st? What do you think? I mean, and even if it's for somebody else, you can let me know so that I address what's important to you. And I also complete this 366-day process with a complete, full thing. I'm actually going to make this into a book. I'm going to be making this whole 366 days, including, that's a leap year. I'll actually be making this into a book and a program where people will be able to come and conquer any of their fears, really. And the backup will be, the book will be a backup as support and some kind of offering for that, because I just imagine for a moment deep in my bones that if any one of us can spend 366 days addressing anything, including our fears or any other thing that we deal with as a human culture, like, I feel a lot of peace from that. I feel a lot of peace from just having opened so deeply to the fears that I've had on every single level: vulnerability, intimacy, shame, parenting, family, what people will think of me. I mean, the list is extensive. And if you go to my website at JoannaTransformation.com or YourSacredTransformation.com, you'll see all 320 something or 40 something days that are there. You'll see those. Hi, Lena. Great to see you. Beautiful picture. Really beautiful. Anyways, thank you for all of those of you who have either watched my videos or shared them or let me know privately that these posts have touched you. I really appreciate hearing that from you. It's been a lot to put myself out there and to show up every day so consistently, as some of you I know have been doing so expertly. And again, if there's any particular post that you would want me to address before the year is over, no matter how bizarre the fear seems or how unusual the fear seems or how off the wall it seems, it could be with in-laws. I think I actually had a couple posts around in-laws. This month has been like I've kind of saved the best for last, which has been around sexuality, all the sexual fears, wanting it a lot, wanting it too little, wanting it more than other people. I mean, these are just some of them. I'll be exploring a lot more. I'd love to hear from you what those would be and what fears, in addition to those, that I could address before December 31st. Today is December 6th. I think there's 25 days left, right, if I'm doing my math correctly. So I have 25 days left with which to just really go into the remainder of the fears that are here. Hey, Wendy, good to see you. Talking about fears and my challenge, which is on day 340 something. There are 25 days left, so I'm inviting people to share what fears you would like me to address before the year is over. I was also sharing how, just a little bit about how this year has impacted me. And I was sharing earlier how my nervous system feels like it's really shifted into a new place where I just don't have the same level of fear. I didn't even know that I was having any. Hey, Daniela, good to see you. Hi. What a cute picture that is. I love seeing everybody's picture pop up, and then I get to see you all and be like, wow, there's that person. Anyway, I'm just inviting you all to share with me, what fear should I address before the year is over? What have I not addressed? Some of you, I'm sure, have seen some of my posts, and maybe others of you, I'm pretty sure Danielle and Wendy, you both know that I've been doing this fear into love thing all year long. 25 days left. Was saying that in September, a lot of things kind of just crystallized and coalesced, kind of some crisis and trauma and a bit of drama. And it was like I had to let go of this entity that we humans experience as fear. I just don't relate to it in the same way. I don't feel it in the same way. And it's actually created this incredible momentum and ascension, really truly is what it is. I was really feeling yesterday, I'll share with you, that the end of a certain kind of era was happening for me. I wasn't really sure what it was, and I was feeling sad and just like something has ended for me. And I feel like something is also beginning, but I can't quite see it yet because I'm in the labor and delivery process. And my daughter has been telling people at school that her mommy has a baby in her tummy, and I was just like, freak no. There are no more. The kitchen is closed, and there is no way in hell that I'm having more children. That is just absolutely off the table, at least as far as biological children are concerned. But I think she's tuned into something because she knows that something is coming, and she knows that it's not going to be coming out of my body, although it will be coming out of the body of my soul. And so I was just really feeling the sadness yesterday. Here I was in Petaluma, and I ended up being at the stoplight with my son in the back seat, and I was just really feeling a sadness, like something is ending and shifting, and I was reflecting upon the challenge and just feeling like, God, I cannot believe it's December 5th, and this has really still been going on. And so what happened was I actually ended up getting rear-ended. Thank goodness everybody's okay. I was a little dizzy, but the moment that it happened, literally, I was like, wow, something has just been like smacked and like pushed forward for me. And last night I had this dream, and the message I was given was momentum ascension, momentum ascension, momentum ascension. And if you know me, you know I love the topic of momentum, the topic of being so consistent at something that you end up getting a third added benefit of the thing you're exploring called momentum. Everything starts to quantum magnetize and speed up in a way that is just like really a huge gift in and of itself. And was just really feeling how that momentum has just filled me with an ascension combined with getting rear-ended and just like pushed forward. And here we are at December, and I'm just like, wow, I'm so grateful even for this rear ending. It's probably gonna cost like $4,000 or $5,000 to repair my car. And this sweet man that hit me, oh my gosh, his partner was in the hospital, and um, I just felt so much compassion for him. He's the kindest man and just so loving and supportive. And we ended up hugging each other while the police report was happening. It was kind of crazy. But anyways, thank you. Thank you for all joining and sharing and your love and support. It really means the world to me. And I'd love to hear whatever fears you would like me to address before the year is over, because it's almost over and I don't want to miss your suggestion if you've got one burning. And you can private message me too, so that it feels more private to you. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Great to see you all.